everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review. We have another Hammond collection figure to take a look at. As kind of stated in the last Hammond collection review, we have the Jurassic World Hammond collection True FX Stygimoloch. So finally, we have the awesome Stygimoloch from that first appeared in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and then later appeared in Dominion, as well as Chaos Theory. Finally have it in Hammond collection form, and I'm just going to say this, hands down, this is the best Stygimoloch figure we've ever gotten from Mattel. This thing is flat out awesome. I've watched tons of reviews on this, and to have it in person, it is really exciting. It is really, really, really exciting, and I'm super happy to finally have a Stygimoloch in the Hammond collection. And yeah, this figure is just, it's such an awesome figure. And yeah, I mean, it's so cool. So yeah, really happy. This is something that was revealed at like what, Comic-Con last year, and here we are. We finally have it, and it's, wow, it did not feel that long at all, but here we are. The wait was definitely worth it, in my opinion. So taking a look at the packaging here, get the typical brand new Hammond collection packaging with the Jurassic World logo up top and the T-Rex skeletal right there. On the front, get an awesome render of the Stygimoloch, looking beautiful. Such an awesome dinosaur. I loved it in the movie, and it's definitely had its history throughout the Jurassic Park, I guess, franchise as a whole. So not just the movies, but in other expanded media, from like video games and well, I think it's only video games. I only know it from video games. I think the earliest I know Stygimoloch has appeared in the franchise is probably Warpath Jurassic Park, that video game, where it had the really cool gazelle-looking color scheme and the really cool elk-like cries or sound effects or whatever. That's the earliest I know Stygimoloch from in the franchise, and I'm super happy to have it in the movies. I also really love how the render has all this blue highlights on it, kind of matching the blue on the inside of the packaging, which is really cool. That's actually a difference with these newer figures. They have a blue background instead of a yellow one this time. And as you can see, the figure just looks so good. Got the True FX logo, Hammond Collection Stygimoloch, Hammond Collection. Down the other side, here we got another picture. We got the Stygimoloch breaking through the wall at the Lockwood Estate to help Owen and Claire escape. Looking awesome. Hammond Collection logo. And then we got, and actually this one's an actual picture from the movie, you know, like the movie itself. It's like screenshotted from the picture, so that's really cool. And here we got a cool little bio here. It says, trapped at the Lockwood Estate, Owen Grady devises a plan to put the domed head of the Stygimoloch to use. With a combination of whistling and wall breaking, Owen is able to free himself, Claire Deering, and the Stygimoloch from their caged cells. And hopefully you guys heard that. There's still construction being worked on right next door. And then it has the proper Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom logo. So unlike the Lost World Velociraptor that had the wrong logo, same thing on this side, and you got some really cool images of the figure itself. It looks awesome. And then here, the True FX premium details for enhanced realism. Excuse me. You can definitely see that on this figure. I'm just gonna say that. And then we got the other ones. We got the Velociraptor we reviewed last, and then we're still looking out for the Troodon as well as the Spinosaurus. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for the packaging. Let's go ahead and open this awesome figure. Alrighty, so here we have the Stygimoloch out of the package, and wow, this figure is amazing. Definitely one of the best smaller figure dinosaurs in the Hammond collection. I mean, for real, it is, I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely one of the best. To me, it's right up there with the Lost World Tiger Raptor and the Dimetrodon and the Pyroraptor, and I think even Ghost. So it's right up there in terms of being like the best of the smaller figures. And just this figure is just amazing. It captures the look of the Stygimoloch from the movies very nicely. I feel like this is a really good candidate to kind of show off that True FX gimmick that they're showing with these newer Hammond collection figures. This one just looks like it was straight out of the movie. Now, obviously, having this one in hand, I can spot at least, actually only one difference about this figure that's kind of different and not entirely accurate to the Stygimoloch in the films. But overall, it's a very tiny little nitpick. It's not even going to take away from how awesome this figure is. It's not even going to take away from me loving this figure. So yeah, the sculpt on this figure is amazing. Look at that head sculpt. Look at all those scales. Even here on the lower jaw, all over the head, got some really rough texturing with all these little bumps and spikes all over the head. It just looks awesome. Now, obviously, it would have been cool to see all these little tiny spikes be painted, but overall, I think Mattel did a really great job regardless. And you got some nice texture on the beak, and on the nostril, and on the horns. The eyes look great as well. Even on the top, you got the signature spikes on the top half and the signature dome. And the spikes back here are awesome. It just looks phenomenal, and I love just the colors of it too. We'll get into colors in a second, but yeah, they look great. One of the things I really like is that the spikes back here are actually a separate insert into the figure. They're actually a rubber mold. So I mean, they have like a dry brush, but yeah, I'm not worried about that. But these are not going to get scuffed up. They're molded in this plastic, in this color. So no matter how much you play with this thing, these spikes at least are not going to get scuffed up. So it looks awesome. I love how Mattel did that. So they're kind of a soft rubber. Here on the back, you got some really nice skin wrinkles right here, looking nice. Some more of the line textures all over the body, some more of the folds and creases in the skin, stretch marks, some muscle definition poking out from where the legs are. You can see where the muscles are located, some more lines right here on the leg, great creases here on the ankles, some more stretch marks here on the back end, which look great. And you got some more of the cool looking like bumpy texture here on the tail, which looks great as well. Same with the other side, pretty much the same, but still it's really cool to observe this figure. It's a really great one. Definitely one of my favorites, like I said. Like, I love the scale wrinkles right here. And then all over the back, look at all this scale work. Maybe not even scales, more like just like a rough texture that gives off the illusion of scales. And you got some small little bumps or osteoderm looking scales all over the entire back of the animal, which looks great too. And you got a lot of cool scales here on the back side of the tail. Some more scales here on the leg with some more of those larger osteoderm bumps right there, which look great. Some more scales on the leg. You got some really nice scoots on the feet. The feet are incredibly accurate, and they're well proportionate too. They're not too big, they're not too small. They're like perfectly the right size and match the Stygimoloch that we see in the films. The arms look great too with the scales and the tiny little 5-fingered hands. Sadly, the claws aren't painted, but it is what it is. You got some nice little scoots on the fingers though, which look good. But yeah, really awesome on this detail. You can see the scales right here on the leg, the kneecap, right there. You got the little dew claw back there. Sadly unpainted, but as it is. And here on the underside of the feet, some nice little wrinkle textures, and you got the little Jurassic World logo. And even the back of the head, you got some more scales and some more of the bump textures even here on the neck. So it looks really great. The sculpting is phenomenal on this figure. And for the most part, like I said, it captures the look of the Stygimoloch from the movies. Colors are fantastic. Just like the sculpting, the colors are fantastic and match the Stygimoloch in the film. It's got like this reddish brown color for the most part, for like the main body color. You got this really dark, maybe dark gray, or just like a black color for the striping here all over the top of the body, which looks great. Continues all the way down to the tail. Even stripes here, jaggedly here on the side of the leg. You got some more of that dark markings around the face, which kind of makes it pop. Looking nice. You even got like a dark colors for the claws, at least the toe claws. And you got a nice brown color for the beak, and I think for the first nose horn right there, which looks cool. I really like that. Inside the mouth as well, painted in like this fleshy pink color. And then for the underside, it's like a warm gray color for the underside of the jaw and down the neck, all the way down to the body, and sadly only stops right here and doesn't continue down to the tail. You got some more of that light color here on the side of the thigh right here, which looks really great with all the other colors mixed in. You can even see here on the other side. And even look at that gray color even continues on the back side of the legs right here. Sadly, it doesn't touch the foot, but it goes on the back side right here. That's really cool. You don't see that a lot with Mattel's figures. And you even got some here on the back of the arms. That's really cool. This figure just feels really complete with all the colors they've added to this figure. And then we got like a different shade of like a beige color that's different from the warm gray, so it stands out for the dome in the top half of the figure with all the spikes and stuff. And even the spikes on the back are like this beige color. And you got like a brown dry brush on it too that kind of gives it like that bony texture, but also gives it like that rough kind of look to it. So it's really cool. I really love that. You don't see a lot of this in Mattel's figures either, and it just makes it stand out. It makes the texture stand out. It makes all these spikes stand out. So I love the dry brushing on this figure, on the spikes and the dome and everything. It just looks great. The glass eyes are really great too. Kind of hard to see, but the Stygimoloch in the films had really dark eyes anyway, so it kind of gives it like that lifelike look to it, especially with the shine on it from your light source. It makes it feel like it's a living, breathing animal. But the primary color for the eye is like a reddish brown. It's a more of a light orange compared to the red on the body here, and it's got like a black pupil. But a really nice. I love it. I love it so much. Such a great figure. Now, yeah, the colors are phenomenal. The sculpting is phenomenal. So everything about this is just awesome. It's already a 10 out of 10 figure. Now, before we get on to articulation, we'll kind of just take a look at some brief. Actually, no, we're not going to do inaccuracies yet. I'm going to wait till I do comparisons, but we'll do articulation. So the jaw can open and close, which is really good. And on the plus side, the jaw doesn't look so wonky on this one. Sometimes Mattel's herbivore jaw articulations are just really weird and sometimes don't look very good, which is super weird. They could take inspiration from like Beasts of the Mesozoic or other companies, but they make them so weird. The carnivores are easy, but it's like these herbivores are so weird. But the Stygimoloch right here is awesome. So I really love that. But you got, yeah, jaw articulation. And then here for the first part of the neck, it can't go up and down, but it can rotate side to side. And then this part of the neck can go down about that far. So you can get a little bit of that head ramming pose, though it's not as good as the Pachycephalosaurus, which we'll compare in a second. And they can go up about that far, so not too much. It can go left and right a little bit, not too much. And then it can also, I think, rotate. I don't know. It's kind of stiff. I'm not gonna push it. The arms right here, the shoulders pivot in and out, and they can move forward and backwards. Same with the tiny little elbows, forward and backwards, and they can rotate. And then here for the thighs, they can pivot in and out. They can move forward and backwards. And then the knees, forward and backwards as well, and they can also rotate. Sadly, no ankle articulation. And then you got the foot, which can go up about that far and down about that far, and it can also swivel. So great and usual articulation for the smaller dinosaur legs and feet. And then the tail, up and down, left and right, on a ball joint so it can swivel, and it's also on a bendy wire, so got a bendy wire for that one as well. But yeah, overall, a really fantastic figure. So quickly, let's take a look at some comparisons. Here we got a human, we got Dr. Alan Grant. In case you guys haven't noticed, I'm filming this right after I did the raptor review, and they look pretty good. I think the Stygimoloch was actually a bit smaller in the movies, but it looks good regardless. So yeah, I think it looks good. And then next we'll compare it with the other Pachycephalosaur that we have in the Hammond collection, and that's obviously the classic Pachycephalosaurus. And they look really great together. Interestingly, the Stygimoloch is much bigger than the Pachy, which is super interesting. I know the Pachycephalosaurus was so much bigger in the first Jurassic World for like a brief second, but still, this is the only good time we really got to see it was in the Lost World, and it was a smaller size, roughly the same size as the Stygimoloch that we later see in Fallen Kingdom. So, and I think it's been, I don't know, confirmed that the Pachys in the Lost World were all juveniles, which is why we saw a big one in Jurassic World. So technically this is a juvenile Pachy, but for the most part, just basically, since we saw this guy more in the Lost World, it kind of almost led us to believe that it was a pretty accurate in size. But they look really great together. Nice to see both of these dinosaurs in the Hammond collection. Now, straight up, the Stygimoloch is much better in a lot of ways in terms of sculpting and proportions. The Pachy is good. Mattel kind of maybe messed up in the head a little bit. It's not entirely accurate to how it is in the film. I feel like it's just a little too wide. It needs to be a bit more thinner and not so wide. But overall, the proportions are kind of nice. The feet are really oversized. This is like a 2023 figure, I think. So it's not the best representation. So yeah, the feet need to be much smaller, like the Styggies. And the hands are way too dramatically like oversized. Like these are way too big. They need to be actually small, like the Stygimoloch. So see, Mattel is improving as the years go by. So, you know, Mattel, keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully, maybe someday Mattel will redo some of these figures to make them more better, like their current ones. So I would love to have an updated Lost World Pachycephalosaurus. So hopefully, that's in the works. Sometime in the distant future. It's not going to be now, but yeah, really cool to see these. I'd love to get a picture of both these guys kind of ramming into each other. Though, considering how massive the Styggy's head is, this guy would probably win that headbutt challenge. But really cool to see both these Pachycephalosaurs together. Then lastly, we'll compare it with an original mainline Stygimoloch figure, and this is where we can get into some movie accuracy comparisons. But overall, they look really nice together. I chose this one because this one's similar in color to this one. But we'll talk about some of these comparisons. But overall, these look really good. But if you look at the difference in the head sculpt, this one feels a lot more boxy or blocky, and this one's a lot more natural and kind of has a lot more like natural curves to it, not so blocky like this one. So interestingly, the Stygimoloch toys right here were actually based off of the model heads that they've used for the film Fallen Kingdom as like stand-in props to kind of show where the dinosaur is in terms of lighting and for the actors to look at. But yeah, this is based off of those early, you know, movie models or maquettes or stand-ins, props, whatever they use for the movie. So it's a lot different than the Stygimoloch we see in the film. So this one's based, all these other Stygimolochs before the Hammond collection were all based off of those models, whereas this one is based off of the one from the film, or at least the CGI model of the figure, which looks awesome. You can even tell on the, I mean, you're looking at it from the front view. This one's a lot more accurate because it's got more of like this angry look with the little ridges right here, because it has like, almost looks like at their eyebrows, gives it like that angry look. This one kind of has it, but it's a lot more flat. So I thought I'd point that out because I found that very interesting, you know, throughout the many times we've gotten a Stygimoloch figure. And yeah, as you can see, they're kind of different from looking up above. This one's a lot more thinner, but this one's a lot more wider at the dome right here. Now, another thing too is the spikes. The spikes are actually pretty inaccurate on this figure, which is surprising to say. They're a lot more accurate on this figure. They're long, but not like super long. You got these two, this one being the longest, and you got this one being the second longest, and everyone else is kind of being kind of small. If you look at this one, we got the longer ones right there, the second longer ones being a bit more longer than they should be, and then this little one right here in the middle is a lot more elongated and should have been a bit more shorter if you want to make it super accurate. So the spikes on the head are a lot more elongated, but I really love the elongated look. It matches really well for a Stygimoloch. So is it accurate to the film? No, not really, but it does give it a really nice, intimidating appearance. So I'm not disappointed by it. So I love it a lot. But I just thought I'd kind of point that out there when you're comparing all these spikes. Also, another difference too is with the eyes, and none of these ones had it too, but the Stygimoloch in the Jurassic movies had a pupil similar to that of like a goat, where it's more horizontal. And Mattel didn't add that to this figure. It's just a singular black dot pupil instead of a horizontal pupil like a goat. So kind of a missed opportunity to give us something like that, but you know, I'm not too worried about that. And now the feet are a lot more smaller and proportionate on this figure than compared to the other one, but interestingly too, the Stygimoloch in the film, I'm not sure if it's on both feet, but on this foot in particular, this claw on this digit right here was super elongated. The other ones are small, just like these, and then this one right here would be just super elongated. Kind of like one of the claws you would see when you're looking at a cassowary. Like some of the claws are nice and small, and you got like one of the digits having a super long claw on it. So that's kind of an inaccurate thing that they didn't add to this figure. It would have been nice to have that. This figure kind of has it. It's slightly elongated on this one, but I don't know why they didn't give it too much. You can kind of see it there, kind of elongated. So, I mean, that would have been painful to be kicked by a Stygimoloch with a claw like that. But, you know, I'm just nitpicking. But it's not going to take away from how awesome this figure is. I still love it. It's still one of the best of the smaller Hammond collection figures. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this Hammond collection Stygimoloch. Awesome figure, awesome sculpt, awesome paint job. Just everything about it is just amazing. It makes for an awesome Stygimoloch figure from the Jurassic movies. And yeah, I love it. I love it so much. I highly recommend picking this one up. Please find this at your local Targets and find this figure and get it. It's well worth it. You will not be disappointed with just how beautiful this figure is. So yeah, awesome figure. I'm looking forward to seeing what other small figures we get. I'm still on the lookout for the Troodon, so hopefully we'll get that one eventually. Same with the Spinosaurus. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next review.